Coronation Street viewers have urged that Debbie Webster be kept safe as her stint in prison goes on. Supporters of the program expressed their frustration, saying it's bad enough already, while voicing concern for Debbie's well-being behind bars. The much-loved figure, portrayed by Sue Devaney, was sentenced to jail after admitting to dangerous driving and causing the death of local vicar Billy Mayhew in a devastating multi-car collision. Fans will remember the dramatic crash unfolded last month, putting residents from both Weatherfield and the Dales at serious risk when Coronation Street and Emmerdale joined forces for the first time in a landmark crossover episode watched by millions. However, viewers, and Debbie herself, are aware she was not truly responsible. The chaos began when a drunken Carl Webster stormed out of Debbie and Ronnie Bailey's Yorkshire wedding, with Debbie in the passenger seat as she attempted to stop him after heated clashes with Kevin Webster and Abby Webster. Inside the vehicle, the argument intensified, and just as Debbie was about to reveal something significant, Carl lost control of the car. He crashed into wreckage already scattered across the road following collisions involving Betsy Swain, Lisa Swain, Aaron Dingle, John Sugden, and a minibus driven by Billy that was transporting several of the wedding guests. In a heartless move, Carl shifted an unconscious Debbie into the driver's seat to frame her as the one at the wheel. Tragedy struck when the minibus erupted in flames, leading to Billy's death, a fate that followed Theo Silverton, apparently preventing him from escaping, aware that Billy knew about his abusive partner Todd Grimshaw. Carl continued the deception, allowing Debbie to think she had caused the fatal crash. Unknown to him, Debbie understood the reality, but chose to shield him after discovering he was not her half-brother as believed, but actually her son, a truth that has since come to light for Carl as well. When Debbie later appeared in court, the judge stated she would ordinarily have received a 4-year sentence. Yet, factoring in her admission of guilt and her dementia diagnosis, the term was reduced to 2 years and 8 months. Emotional scenes followed as her heartbroken family looked on. Their anxiety deepened when they learned Debbie had suffered another minor stroke and required urgent medical treatment. Since entering prison, Debbie has been assigned Lou Michaelis as her inmate companion. During Tuesday's February 17 episode of Coronation Street, she was forced to confide in Lou about her dementia after mistakenly calling her Abby in front of other prisoners. Lou later cautioned Debbie about Paula, who confronted her upon realizing she recognized Debbie as the woman who had once thrown her out of her hotel. Coronation Street reveals who could bring down Meghan in dramatic hidden camera twist. A huge shock unfolds in tonight's episode, hinting that Meghan Walsh's grip of control may finally be weakening. For several weeks, audiences have watched uneasily as Meghan, Beth Nixon, manipulates teenager Will Driscoll, Lucas Hodgson Whale, carefully convincing him their connection is real. Cool-headed, strategic, and consistently ahead of those around her, she has managed to dodge suspicion, especially from Sam Blakeman, Jude Riordan, who has long felt something was amiss. However, events take a sharp turn tonight. The tension escalates when Sam unexpectedly enters Meghan's home, explaining he's come to study and that Leanne provided him with a spare key. His sudden appearance clearly unsettles Meghan. Attempting to appear unfazed, she leaves and informs Sam she'll return by 4 p.m., though it's obvious his surprise visit has shaken her. Meghan later finds Will at the precinct and frames Sam's behavior as concerning. In a disturbing exchange, she proposes that Will adopt a good cop role while she plays bad cop, encouraging him to reassure Sam and keep him close. It's a textbook example of manipulation, and Meghan once again seems convinced she has the upper hand. Later, Will meets Sam at the bistro and invites him to a gig, behaving as if nothing is wrong. He even texts Meghan to confirm that everything has been handled. From her perspective, the problem has been solved. But that assumption proves premature. In the episode's final scenes, it emerges that Sam has secretly installed a camera inside Meghan's house. The boy she has dismissed as inexperienced and easily frightened has in reality been quietly planning to collect proof against her. Up to now, Megan has worked relentlessly to undermine Sam, insisting that even if he reported her relationship with Will, no one would trust his claims. She has eroded his self-belief, used his academic performance to manipulate him, and treated him as insignificant. Discussing the role previously, Beth Nixon explained that Megan sees herself as the cleverest person in any situation. She believes that although others praise Sam's intelligence, she is always one step ahead and fully in charge. That inflated confidence has shaped her actions throughout, remaining outwardly calm while orchestrating events behind closed doors. Yet tonight's revelation hints that her dominance may be faltering. If Sam's concealed camera captures the evidence many expect, Megan could finally face exposure. Still, given her ruthless streak, it's unlikely she would surrender without a fight. For the first time since this disturbing storyline began, though, it appears Megan may no longer be the one in control. It's rare for Coronation Street audiences to share a unanimous opinion. Yet when it comes to Mal, viewers seem firmly aligned, and their judgment isn't favorable. Since the enigmatic arrival made his way into Weatherfield, alarm bells have been ringing among fans. He hasn't committed any openly villainous acts so far, but there's an undeniable unease surrounding him. One viewer summed it up bluntly, insisting there's something deeply unsettling about him, and plenty of others agree. Mal's introduction came when he crossed paths with Bernie Winter in a hotel bar. The evening spiraled into chaos, culminating in Bernie ending up in his room. While nothing romantic occurred, the pair did take drugs together, a secret Bernie has concealed from her husband, Dev Alahan. What should have remained a brief misstep, a fleeting soap subplot destined to fade, has instead persisted. Bernie has made it increasingly obvious she wants space, yet Mal appears unwilling to disappear. The longer he lingers, the more uneasy viewers grow. Some have described him as extremely odd, while others admit he gives them chills. It's not merely awkward behavior that's raising eyebrows. Many sense something more troubling beneath the surface. While maintaining his link with Bernie, Mal has also woven himself into Roy Cropper's world. Roy had been exchanging messages with a woman named Alice and was even contemplating meeting her in person, until Mal abruptly arrived claiming Alice was actually his wife. The timing raised suspicions. Feeling responsible for any emotional complications, Roy offered Mal a job as an electrician at the cafe. However, fans quickly began doubting whether Alice is even real. In previous scenes, viewers spotted a mysterious man's hand during moments when Alice was messaging Roy. Though the identity remains unconfirmed, speculation has flourished. Some have even theorized that Mal's name hints at malice, suggesting he could follow in the manipulative footsteps of past villains and that Alice may never have existed at all. Others have reacted with outright disbelief, branding his behavior unhinged as the storyline continues to unfold. Should Alice prove to be fictional, Mal would shift from merely strange to deliberately deceptive. What unsettles audiences most now is that Mal seemingly lacks any legitimate reason to remain in Weatherfield, yet he continues extending his stay. He's still employed by Roy, regularly turns up at the cafe, and repeatedly circles back to Bernie despite her visible discomfort. Viewers increasingly describe him as sinister, with some admitting he now genuinely unsettles them. The prevailing theory among fans is that Mal could be heading toward full-blown stalking behavior, with Bernie in his sights. The warning signs appear to be mounting. An intense first encounter, refusal to step back, convenient work ties keeping him nearby, and the potential catfishing of Roy. All point to a man who may be far more calculating than he initially seems. As audiences wait for Mal's true nature to emerge, the consensus is clear. Weatherfield doesn't trust him, and the storyline feels destined to take a darker turn.